Well, Simon Humberstone, Pontypridd outside half for the 2010-11 season. I don't know much about you, Simon, and I'll be completely honest there. So, do you want to tell me briefly, you can be as long as you like actually with this, where you got started, your formative years, you know, tell us a bit about your background.
Okay, I was born into a rugby family really. My dad's rugby mad, played all his life. My granddad played rugby. I've got two brothers who both play rugby. We're all outside halves, my dad, me and both my brothers. I began where I was born and raised in Basingstoke, which is South England, near Reading if people may not have heard of it. My dad took me down to Basingstoke on a Sunday morning when I was about 4 years old. Took to it straight away. I loved the game, everything about it, and I basically played all my junior rugby with my local club, Basingstoke RFC, from 4 through to seniors. I played 3 years of senior rugby there. I also represented my college, which is basically called Peter Simmons College. We used to play there on a Wednesday. And then I went to New Zealand when I hit 19, sort of just to try and do a bit of travelling before university came in, try and see a bit of the world, and just to try rugby in a different country to see how it went, just try and find out a bit more about what it was all about, kind of thing. I played in Otago for a club called Harriet, and then I went on to represent the Otago country rugby club down there, which was quite a big deal at the time for me. Came back to England and came off to university at UWIC, and spent 4 years there before I was moved on to Pontypridd now. And
who made the call? I mean, you obviously, we've heard a bit about you at UWIC. You were their top point scorer last season, I believe.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so how did the call come play for the Valley's Premier Rugby Football Club come about?
Last year went really well for me at UWIC. Like, I owe the place a lot, like for what guys like Chris Davey and Danny Milton did for me to put me in a situation to come to a club like this. And yeah, towards the end of the season I started to receive a bit of interest from a few clubs. I think the points thing sort of draws interest naturally, is kind of what an outside half's got to do. And the original phone call came from Johnsy actually. He got in touch with me, and Richard Langmead as well was also in touch. I met Paul John for a nice cup of coffee down on Cross Road in Cardiff on a Thursday morning or something, and we got chatting there, and then obviously it came down to the point where I had to sort of make a decision between this club and a couple of other clubs. Admittedly, some of the other clubs probably offered me financially better deals, but what it came down to was like a place like this is sort of had the full package for me. It is a rugby club, and it has probably the best fan base in Wales, undoubtedly.
Arguably.
Unarguably, I believe, yeah. And just the whole idea of, you know, I spoke to some of my flatmates and friends who were at other clubs in the Premiership, and they spoke about how they'd play a game and then there'd be two of them in the clubhouse after the game having a drink, and then that'd be it. And sort of, I know Sam Hobbs quite well for university, and I spoke to him a couple of times and tried to get as much of an idea about the place as I could. And he talked about how, you know, the whole squad will stay behind, the regular socials, you know, enjoy each other's company, and also enjoy that of the fans, which is quite important to me as well.
Yeah, and how are you finding now you arrived at Ponty, and of course you've started a couple of games for us, you've come on as a replacement in a couple of games, and you've admittedly played with some aplomb as well. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching you play actually, and it's quite good to have a real outside half here. We've got Gunter, we've got you. It's nice to have a healthy rivalry. How are you finding that rivalry with Dean and with the other youngsters coming through, Lewis Williams for example?
Yeah, no, it's great for me because sort of without coming across as arrogant, like when I was in UWIC, I sort of had the shirt to myself for a couple of years. So to come to a club like this and have that rivalry is something which is new for me, but it certainly pushed me on. You know, yeah, like you mentioned, two very talented young lads there, and it's one of those things like perhaps last year I'd look at a team that we're playing against and maybe they'd be lower in the league, and I'd maybe think, oh, this would be a bit of an easy game today, and drop my standards a little bit. This year it's a case of, well, Dean played well last week, you know, Lewis did pretty well in his little cameo towards the end of the game as well, a few nice touches. You know, I get my chance, I've now got to raise my game to try and get in front of these guys.
There are no easy games at this level, it's often been said.
That's another good point, yeah. I've noticed that since I've been here as well. There's certainly no easy games in this league.
And of course we've got the Principality Premiership, the Swaylet Cup, and of course the biggie then, which is the British and Irish Cup.
Sure.
You must be looking forward to getting your teeth into that one.
Definitely, yeah. It'd be great to go back to England for a couple of games hopefully, and I was saying to the boys it was a bit strange. I think I've been here too long now, because when we played Birmingham down here at the start of the season, pre-season, I found their accent sounded a bit strange to me. And obviously that's my homeland, so I think it'd be good to get back there for a couple of games.
I think the Birmingham accent sounds strange to most people, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's not a fair point.
And I gather you've established a bit of a niche for yourself at the club so far as something of a double act with Garen Lucas.
This is going to stick, is it?
Well, I think it will stick. Yeah, the cannon and ball of the rugby world. I understand you're the Cornish Pirates regional coach. Am I correct there?
We noticed a couple of the boys were playing quite well up here, and we tried to do a bit of recruiting and got hold of Dick and the lads, but they're loyal to the club, and unfortunately it didn't come about now.
And I gather you put on a rather good Cornish accent as well, which is something we may have to get hold of you in the start of the night at the end of the season. We'll see. And your hopes and aspirations with Pontypridd Rugby Club now. You've admittedly you've not been here long, but you seem to like what you've seen so far.
Massively. It's been hugely frustrating for me so far. Obviously, I seem to be picking up sort of niggly injuries at the moment, which is something I haven't really experienced in the past, and it's held me back a bit, to be honest, which has been extremely frustrating for me. I haven't had much game time as I'd like, so just to honestly get out on the pitch now, really, just like I'm here finishing off my masters at university this year, and you know, like you said, what I've seen in the club I really enjoy, and hopefully in the future it's a club that I can stay at for a number of seasons. You know, I don't want to become one of these people who goes from club to club, and I found a club here which I really like. Certainly so far I've had a great time here, so hopefully I can get out on the pitch and prove myself, and hopefully we'll win some silverware this year, which I certainly think is, from what I've seen so far, is definitely within the capabilities of the squad.
Well, I think from all the boys I've spoken with so far, the potential is certainly there, and the desire is certainly there to bring home some silverware.
I think it's a demand which is we've sort of placed upon ourselves this year, that we're underachieving if we don't bring something home at the end of the season, really.
Quite. Well, Simon, I gather you're on the bench today.
Yeah.
I wish you luck if you get the chance to come on, and poor luck for the season. Very good luck to you.
Thank you very much.